My personal pain point was I was always falling out cheating on savory snack. I guess it's one of the least processed snacking range and product in the market, especially in the gluten-free and organic. Consumers are looking for healthy alternatives. They are more conscious than ever.
Hi everyone, so welcome to the new episode of Live Sattviko Talks. Today we have with us Mr. Kalpesh Patel from Australia. Hi Kalpesh, good evening, how are you?
Hi there, good afternoon for you. I'm good, how are you too?
I am doing very well, thank you so much. How is everyone at home?
Everyone is fine, back to lockdown, but I think in Melbourne, we are now used to it.
Right. So viewers, I'll quickly introduce you to our speaker for the today's session, Mr. Kalpesh, and then accordingly we'll take it forward. So Mr. Kalpesh is from Melbourne, who is the founder of Mitahara. It is a healthy snacking brand. So he completed his Masters of Professional Accounting from Charles Sturt University. And while studying during this course, he also worked as a sales professional, which gave him an opportunity to, let's say, travel across Australia, all the 7 states, and selling products and getting various consumer insights from the ground level. So he then started his corporate career as a sales consultant with one of the largest company in the car rental industry. And then in late 19, he started his own health food brand, Mitahara, which is into the healthy snacking food. So he has basically introduced ancient ingredients and superfoods to the Australian market in the form of these snacking products. They mainly deal in Makhana and which is also known as water lily seeds, and they are present across Melbourne and various surrounding areas. So Kalpesh, really, I mean, it is awesome to understand about your journey. So I mean, since you have started Mitahara, and so if you can throw some light on what made you choose Makhana as the product for getting into the healthy snacking market.
I would say my entry into this industry and starting Mitahara started with a personal problem. So when I started Mitahara, just before that, I got into health and wellness for my own self. And my personal pain point was I was always falling out cheating on savory snack on a personal level. Well, many people speak it as sweet products they cheat on, but my problem was with crunch and the savory I was craving for. And being on a macro diet and counting my calories, and being an Indian in Australia, I didn't find any savory product which was healthy and tasty at the same time. And I thought there will be many people like that. And meanwhile, at the same time, Makhana just came into my mind. I was already having that in India, but didn't have a chance to have it here. And I thought it'll be a very good introduction for the Australian market and into the Indian grocery stores as well at the same time.
Right. So I mean, since you have built it from scratch and you have understood minute details of it. So how would you explain our viewers let's say, how does it get manufactured and how does the process go along into the supply chain?
Yes, the best thing about Makhana and the roasting part is, I guess it's one of the least processed snacking range and product in the market, especially in the gluten-free and organic, compared to any extruded or healthy range. So basically, lily seeds, which are grown majorly in the South Hills of Himalayas near the Bihar region. It is native for Bihar. And I think, I guess 90% of the production, worldwide production is in Bihar. So that's a specialty from India coming in as an ancient snack. The seeds are generally harvested by the farmers collected from the bottom of the ponds and seabed. Sorry, not seabed, the water beds.
Yeah.
And then they are crushed and popped into the seeds, which then been roasted by olive oil or any healthy oil which you prefer, or even many people do it with ghee.
Mhm.
And then we do the seasoning. So currently we are doing it in 5 flavors, but
Okay.
there are many possibilities with that.
Right, right. So, Kalpesh, I mean, what we have observed is globally also that, I mean, there is a sudden increase in the consumption of makhanas or the fox nuts globally. So, I mean, if you can throw some light on how did it pick up and how has the consumption, I mean, took a sudden rise and now it is, of course, still growing also. But I mean, what were those factors which led to its, I mean, substantial growth?
I guess throughout the world, especially I would say in Australia as well, consumers are looking for healthy alternatives. They are more conscious than ever in their eating habits. And as we are in the market now and talking to the consumer, it was not present in the market. And the new age founders and the new age companies like Sattviko as well, uh, they are making it more and more convenient for the consumer to have those choices in the supermarket. As we, if I see maybe 5 or 6 years back, there were not many healthy options. They
Mhm.
were especially in crunch or savory options. It'll be a simple flavored popcorn, or mostly what it was dominated by potato
Mhm.
chips, and that's it. And as we can see, companies are also listening to the consumers, and the new brands are actually pushing big companies to get into the healthy options and gluten-free range as well. So I guess it's overall awareness within the consumer which is
Well
pushing
said.
the whole industry into healthier transformation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. And I mean, now you have been into this space for more than 2 years now. So, going forward, I mean, how do you see the growth of Mitahara in next 5 years?
Personally, our goal for Mitara is to get into a mainstream national level as a brand
Uh-huh.
in Australia and New Zealand. And because at the moment we are 80% into Indian grocery stores, and we are trying to push it hard into the mainstream health supplement and organic stores,
Mhm.
because it's very painful for me and maybe and to see all the other countries uh, projecting their products, fine food products, in the health food stores, and not seeing any much of Indian brands getting into those area of the fine food. As India has a lot of potential and we have Ayurveda, and so we are looking forward to be a national brand in the health snack industry.
Awesome. That's a great ambition, and I mean, wish you all the best for it. So,
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
yeah. So, Kalpesh, I mean, what we have observed here in India also in last 1.5 years or so, the shopping on e-commerce has taken a big jump. Of course, I mean, people were restricted to move out and all. So,
Mhm.
how do you see the increasing scope of e-commerce globally and maybe Australia including?
It has, yeah. I would say COVID has pushed e-commerce like 5 years earlier. So the impact was the number of consumers which would be online in next 5 years have been brought it down right now. And a lot consumers to have a better choice and convenience. Unfortunately, with Australia, there is because of the demographic and the places are so scattered and the cities are so scattered. Uh, it's Amazon is struggling, but they will find a solution as well. And
Right.
the e-commerce has just helped basically consumers and the brands and the companies overall in this market as well.
So, Kalpesh, I mean, if I were to ask you your two long-term goals, so maybe on a personal level, so what would they be?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll be too young to say this, but I'm very family oriented guy. I like one of my long term goal is, which is one of my big why to start Mitahara, was to have my family and even in future my next generation to give something for them to transfer a legacy brand. And at the same time, I really want to represent as an Indian global brand, especially in Australia, as a because we need to portray Indian food, and I imagine there are a lot of areas in Indian landscape which can be portrayed and marketed well and throughout the world. There's a lot of potential I can see. So in next 10 years, I can see to be a bigger distribution channel, having more products, more stores, and more landscape covered throughout
Awesome.
Australia.
That's
Yeah,
lovely to hear. That's lovely to hear. Awesome.
thank you so much.
So, I mean, since you are representing Indian ancient food on the global platform, so I mean, how do you relate your brand with Indian tradition of yoga and Ayurveda?
I guess the meaning of Mitara, it means moderate, the art of moderate diet.
Mhm.
And the the way I see is Indian cuisine and the way of uh, Indian. If you see Indian dinner plate, it'll be a very balanced food diet. There'll
Right.
be a right amount of protein. Even if we don't know, it's just been transferred by generation to generation, and our habits have been inculcated like that. So right amount of protein, right amount of fiber, and mostly vegetarian, which I'm vegetarian as well. I want to promote that. And looking at the more vegan and the vegetarian growth throughout the world makes me happy as well. So Indian Ayurveda supplements and the Indian way of holistic approach, which is not just eating for your body, but for
Mhm.
your mind and soul as well. So feeding both, then having the balance of both the worlds together, because we need that holistic approach. Looking at the mental health issues right now and
Right.
the growing epidemic of people feeling that mental stress and growing anxiety, though we are living in the most convenient we are the we are the generation which has the most convenience in the world, but we are
Right.
the generation which is the most having the most the major issues with mental health.
True.
So
Well said.
I would like to promote that, um, coming from Indian culture with that for yoga.
Now, sitting in Australia, I mean, you have built a great brand and you continue to do so, and you have observed a phenomenal response as well. So, if you were to advise the upcoming brands in the food space on how, I mean, what steps should they take in order to build a global brand? So, what would they be?
I would first say just start with a very big why, like
Mhm.
question with every, just write down why are you doing this, why are you getting into this, because it's going to be a very difficult journey ahead,
True.
and you would need that why at every step, because especially as a startup or as a small scale business, there will be more loss than wins, and you need that. Secondly, I would say to think in a very global way,
Mhm.
and even if your target consumer is Indian, but I would suggest keep it as national level. When Australians are looking for, they want to get included in the taste, they want to get introduced to the new cuisines, new products, new ingredients in their life.
Right.
So keeping that in mind, don't just cater to Indian Australians or Indian consumers here. Look for a bigger approach with that. And the third one, I would say, keeping the second point in mind, your packaging should be in line.
Sure.
Like, speak with your brand. Like, try to not sell just a commodity and build a brand around it, because that's what will help you in longer run. Because commodity can be replaced by any other company. You will be playing with just pricing, but with brand, it will help you in longer run.
Absolutely.
And the fourth is like, if they're coming to Australia, look for the label requirements, and they're very harsh with the labels and the licensing requirements here. And actually, the first one should be the mentor. Find a mentor who has already done in this industry, who have been there, done that. Just have a go. That's what I learned after coming to Australia. That's what one of the culture Australia follows is have a go. Just give it a try. Don't lose your heart, and be in the game for a longer run, not for a short run.
Great. I think the kind of responses which you gave here are extremely insightful, and I'm sure this would be really beneficial for the upcoming brands, because we also see as a brand that there are a lot of Indian brands who have got a huge potential because they have come up with awesome products. So, I mean, the kind of points which you mentioned around packaging, having a mentor who has done that himself, and the kind of labeling requirements and compliance requirements, I think these are certain very important points which a new age brand and an upcoming brand should really take care of. Right.
Yeah, I mean, they sound very basic, but they are one of the most critical points. And be very critical with what you are portraying, and don't just write on your labels for the sake of writing.
True.
If it's not backed, don't add any ingredient written on it if you don't have it. Or be very honest with your consumer, because consumers would know that one day or another, and they're very smart nowadays. And just and consumers appreciate honesty with the brands.
Right.
And the younger brands have actually that agility and the possibility of connecting to a customer personal way. Be your and show your face to the consumer. Don't be afraid of that. Yeah.
Right. Well said. Well said. That's great. So coming down to my last question for the session, I mean, since you are also primarily targeting the, I mean, non-Indian diaspora there in Australia. So, I mean, how is the acceptability of Makhana to the non-Asian diaspora?
It's pretty good here because it's solving two problems at the same time. Consumers are looking for a healthy alternative, and they want taste as well. Because many times when you fall, like especially the Australian consumers, they try healthy products, gluten-free, which right now like lentil chips and chickpea chips, fava beans, which are in the market at the moment. But when you go and taste it, most of them taste like carbon. Like that's what cardboard. It tastes like cardboard. That's what the consumers talk about here, and they're open at the same time for new ingredients, especially from India, because they consider Indian food as a very fine and quality with taste and the origin as well. So they are very welcoming with the new ingredients introduced in the market. It's just that it has to be presented very well and marketed, and you need to work hard with the awareness or whatever you are presenting to them, and they welcome it with open heart.
Absolutely. Very well said.
Yeah.
Great. Great. So, I mean, these were the kind of responses. I mean, Kalpesh, really insightful. And thank you so much once again for your time. And I'm sure you would achieve great heights with your brand Mitahara in the Australian and subsequently New Zealand market also. So, wish you all the best and looking forward to stay connected.
Sure. Thank you so much. And I would like to congratulate Sattviko and their team for doing such a great job. And good luck getting outside and representing India as an Indian global market.
Thank you so much.